Hello, hello, hello. It is me, Janice, and I'm back with another Triple Arrow video. Yes, today, ladies and gents, we're going to be talking about the power of the engulfing candle and how you can use the engulfing candle with the Triple Arrow system. Now, it's really powerful with the system because it will help you to identify your re-entries. I get a lot of questions as far as the Triple Arrows and my particular trading plan. How do you re-enter into the market? What do you do? Well, I'm going to share with you. Now, let me just say this. There are several ways utilizing the triple arrow system that will aid you and guide you into re-entry positions. Today, I'm just talking about the triple arrow system. So, without further ado, we're going to get started. But before we do that, let me just say this. I am a currency trader. I've been trading foreign currency now for about 3 years. Absolutely best decision that I've made in this space that I have made. And when I was introduced to the triple arrow system, it just took things to a whole nother level. And so as a result of all of that, I have been showing others how to maximize the triple arrow system and basically how to use different elements in price action to help individuals determine how to get into the market, when to get into the market, when to re-enter into the market, when to get out of the market, right? We need to know all of those things. So it's definitely been my pleasure to share with individuals how they can do that utilizing the triple arrow system. So today, what we're going to do is talk about that. Now, what you're looking at is definitely not the triple arrow system, right? It is Trading View. Trading View. This is I'm sure everybody that's on this channel know, but there may be some new people. That TradingView is one of the primary trading platforms. I should really say training because you cannot enter or exit a trade on TradingView, but it's a universal platform that the industry used to analyze the market. It's a phenomenal platform, right? So that's what you're looking at right now. And what we're going to talk about, I like to use this because one, it's clean, I don't have the arrows on it, and I really want to provide you with the clarity as to what I am talking about. Now, let me also say this. I'm not going to get really deep into supply and demand, though that's kind of part of engulfing candles. I'm reserving that for one of my advanced training classes, and by all means, you can register for that, and we can talk all day, every day about engulfing candles because it is a powerful candle and it is one of the strongest reversal candles in the market. So I will leave my information in the description so that you can book a session with me and we can really peel back the onion. But for now, what I want to talk about is the engulfing candle and how you can identify it first, right? That's what we're going to talk about, how to identify a engulfing candle. And then we're going to jump over to the triple arrow system, and I'm going to show you how to use the engulfing candle to maximize profits with the triple arrow. Exciting stuff. So sit back, relax, let's get started. All right, engulfing candles. There are two candles involved with an engulfing candle. An engulfing candle must have two opposite candles, right? So you cannot have a bullish and a bullish candle or a bearish and a bearish candle. It has to be an opposite candle. That's the first criteria. Now, the second criteria is the previous candle must be smaller than the candle that's engulfing it. All right, so just think of a engulfing candle as an adult and a baby, right? An adult and a baby. And you stand an adult and a baby side by side. The baby, right? The whole baby can fit completely inside of the adult. Okay? So as it relates to the candles, that previous candle, the body of the previous candle must be able to fit completely inside of the candle that's engulfing it. Now, it's important to know that with an engulfing candle, we're only considering the body. We do not consider the wicks at all. So when you're measuring the engulfing candle, exclude the wicks. Exclude the wicks. So what I'm going to show you, you have two engulfing candles, two types, a bullish and a bearish. A bullish and a bearish. Either your bullish is the one that's engulfing the candle, or the bearish is the one that's engulfing the candle. So if the bullish, for instance, is engulfing the candle, then the previous candle, the immediate previous candle, must be a bearish candle, and it must be smaller. The body must be small enough to fit inside of that bearish engulfing candle. So I hope that makes sense. Same thing applies if it was bullish. It'd be opposite. So I'm going to show you an example of an engulfing candle. Before I do that, also, we're not going to consider dojis. We're not going to consider dojis either, because dojis is a different type of candle, but it's also a reversal candle. It indicates a reversal. So we're not going to consider that, and primarily because I don't consider it. Let me just say that. I don't consider it because it's a sliver of a body, right? It's a sliver of a body. I want some more body in there. I want some more volume, because you know the body of a candle, it indicates the volume that's in the candle, how much buying and selling pressure going on in the candle. So a doji is just like a little sliver of a candle, not much buying and selling pressure going on at all, though it does indicate that there's going to be a change. If you're bearish, then there's going to be a couple of bullish candles coming, or vice versa. So I don't use the doji for that reason, right? I want a little volume. Now, so let me give you an example of an engulfing candle. Okay, so right here we have a bearish engulfing candle. The candle that is engulfing, the bigger candle, is the candle that's engulfing, and that will either be bearish or bullish, right? So we have a bearish engulfing candle. Why? Because the previous candle, which is right here, this bullish candle, is smaller. The body is smaller than the candle being engulfed. So the body can fit completely inside of this candle. That's what makes it an engulfing candle, along with the other criteria I just mentioned. Now, also, another very, very important fact about an engulfing candle, some people miss this, is that the close of the candle has to be in alignment with the opening of the candle that's being engulfed, or the candle that's engulfing. So in other words, we have a bearish engulfing candle right here. We have our bullish, previous candle is bullish. The body of that candle is the close of this bullish candle, which is at the top right here, is right in alignment with the opening of the candle that's engulfing it. You see that? So that needs to be in alignment. So in other words, if you have this bearish candle here and the previous candle was bullish, right? And it was also smaller than the candle that's going to engulf it, but the close of that candle is somewhere in the middle, or somewhere a quarter down, or is not in alignment with it, then that doesn't qualify as a engulfing candle. Very, very important fact. Okay, so the engulfing candle has to be two opposite candles. The previous candle is the one that's being engulfed. That candle must, the body of that candle must be able to fit completely into the candle that's engulfing it. And also with the engulfing candle, we only consider the body, not the widths, only the body. And lastly, the engulfing candle, the candle that's being engulfed, if it's bearish, if it's a bearish engulfing candle, then that previous candle will be bullish. So the close of that candle has to align with the opening of the candle that's engulfing it. And the same thing applies, it's just opposite if it was a bullish engulfing candle, right? And I'm going to show you that as well. All right, so right here, total qualified engulfing candle. Total qualified engulfing candle right there. And what I like to do is take my tool, of course, and where's my little tool thing? Do I need my glasses? Oh, okay. Okay, let me move me out of the way. I think that's what's confusing. Let me move me out of the way. Okay, so what I like to do is I like to extend the zone, right? Because remember, price moves in zones. It's not a specific, it's going to stop right here, though it is a specific turning point. but it moves in zones, so we don't know what that is, right? So what we do is identify the zone by taking your rectangle box, for instance, and you just pull it down to the opening of the candle that's being engulfed. So the previous candle, right? You want to pull it down to the opening of that candle. Where did it open? When did it open, right? And this is, of course, with a bearish engulfing candle. I'm gonna show you the bullish. Same thing, it's just a little opposite, and I'll show that to you. So then what I like to do is go down to your gear. Once you pull your rectangle, you hit your little bubble right there. Go down to your gear, and then your box will come up. So you want to be in coordinates, and then you want to go over to this area here, and you just add a couple of zeros. It doesn't matter. And then the second box down, you want to put a minus sign in front of that, and then of course add a couple of zeros. And this is how you extend the zone. This is how you extend the zone. So now I have a nice little zone here, right? I have a nice little zone here. Let me get rid of that box real quick. I don't need that. All right. Okay, so now we have a nice little zone here where this engulfing candle is. And as you can see, I might be slightly off, but the opening of this bearish candle is where the bottom of your zone should be, and then extend it up and extend it out, and you're good to go. So this is an area. This is an area right here in this area from the top of the rectangle to the bottom. That distance is an area where price reacted. That's so very important when you're trading, to be able to zone out those key support and resistance areas where price had a reaction, because we know price repeats itself, patterns repeats itself, and price also moves from one consolidation area to the next. And so it's important to be able to identify those areas, and this is how you do that, especially with the engulfing candle. Okay, because again, it's a reversal candle. So the indication is somewhere in that zone, price is going to reverse. That's the indication. All right, so that's bearish. Now let's look for a bullish engulfing candle, right? A bullish engulfing candle. Okay, so I see a bullish engulfing candle, and once you train your eye, you'll see them. They happen all the time in the market. They happen all the time in the market. And they are very, very powerful indications of what price want to do. And as traders, we do what price want to do. We don't force the market. We don't try to manipulate it in any kind of way, because trust me, you will lose, right? We identify what price want to do, and then we follow price. We follow price. That's what we do, right? And we use different elements and components in order to help us to do that. So engulfing. Let's go back to a bullish engulfing candle. Well, I see a bullish engulfing candle right here. So let me just zone it out. Okay, so I just dragged down to the opening of the candle that's being engulfed. That's where I take my rectangle from the close down to where it opened, and that's where the zone is going to be. And then what I do is I come over to my gear, because once you do that and you have the bubbles here, you're going to have some tools down at the bottom, and you'll go to your settings, which is the gear, and then it will bring up your rectangle coordinates. Then what I do is I just add a couple of zeros at the top, and the bottom number I put a negative, and then I add a couple of zeros at the bottom. And this is how you zone it out. Now we have a nice little zone here, right? We have a nice little zone here as to where price will likely react, okay? Where price will likely react. So we had another zone. But why was this a bullish engulfing candle? Well, it is a bullish engulfing candle because the previous candle, first of all, the big candle, which is the candle that's engulfing, that is a bullish candle. The candle that's engulfing is the engulfing candle. That's the big candle, right? So the previous candle must one be an opposite candle. So that needs to be a bearish candle. And that bearish candle must be, the body of that candle must be small enough to fit completely inside of the candle that's engulfing, which is the bearish candle. In addition, the opening where that candle opened and well, where it closed for bearish, because that's where the opposite is with the bearish and the bullish. For a bullish engulfing candle, the closing of the the closing of the bearish candle, the small candle, the close must be in alignment with the open or the beginning of the engulfing candle, the candle that's engulfing. So right here, you have your bearish candle. Bearish candles open at the top and close at the bottom. They start at the top and they close at the bottom. Wherever they're going to close at is at the bottom. A bullish candle opens from the bottom and it closes at the top. Okay, and I know this is like very elementary, that piece. So I know quite a few that are going to be on this channel know that, but it's important to reiterate that. So, because the movement has to be right, you have to get that right, else it's just not going to work, right? So, the bearish candle opens from the top and it goes down. It's a selling candle, so it's moving down. Now, where that candle closed, it has to be in alignment with the opening of the bullish candle. If the close of the candle, so for instance, if that candle closed anywhere like in the middle, the third, or further up, then that does not constitute an engulfing candle. That's very important to know, okay? So in that case, it met all of our criteria. This is a bona fide engulfing candle, right? Bona fide bullish engulfing candle, okay? Bona fide bearish engulfing candle. You see them all over the chart. Let me just outline another one. I'm not going to extend it out, but I'm just going to outline it. Here we go. Okay, here is. Okay, so I had to pause it real quick because my food was burning. So, okay, let us continue where we were. And I was just showing you some other examples of the engulfing candle. So let's stretch this out some as well so you can get a good look also. So right here, for instance, this is an engulfing candle. Why? Well, this candle is the bigger candle. It's bullish. So this would be a bullish engulfing candle. Why? Because the previous candle, the body is smaller than the candle that's going to engulf it. The body can fit completely inside of this candle, right? And the opening where this bearish candle, the previous one, where it opened, I'm sorry, it opened from the top. Sellers open from the top. Where it opened and where it closed for bullish, where the previous candle closed should be in alignment with the opening of the bullish candle. And it is. As you can see, let me try to move the cursor out the way so you can get a good look. So the close of the bearish candle, right, is in alignment. It's like side by side. There's not a disparity. One is, far longer than the other one. They're equal side by side. The close of the bearish candle in this case is in alignment with the opening of the bullish candle. So in other words, if the close of this bearish candle was say up here, or down here, extended past it, that would not constitute an engulfing candle. That's not it. So those elements have to take place in order for it to be an engulfing candle. Okay? Now, that is a bullish engulfing candle because that's the larger candle. And this, of course, this is a bearish engulfing candle. However, I personally won't consider this because of this doji. The previous candle has to be smaller. Yes, it is smaller. It is. It fits the criteria, actually. It fits the criteria, but it doesn't have enough body for me. So I prefer not to use that one, okay? But some do. Some do. Some do. Okay. another bullish engulfing candle, right? And let's find a bearish engulfing candle. Here's a bearish engulfing candle, okay? Here's another bearish engulfing candle. I want to show you this one because sometimes the engulfing candles can be close, but even if it's just a little bit shorter and that body can fit in there, it constitutes, provided all the other criteria is met. So in this case here, this is a bearish engulfing candle. Why? Because it is the bigger of the two candles. And the previous candle is a bullish candle. So we got the two opposite candles, right? And the body of the candle that's being the previous candle can fit completely into the big candle, the candle that's engulfing it, right? And since this is a bearish engulfing candle, the previous candle is bullish. So that means that the open, well, I'm sorry, where the bullish candle closed, right? Because the bullish candle moves from the bottom up. So where the bullish candle closed, that has to be in alignment with the open of the bearish candle, because a bearish candle opens from the top and closes from the bottom. So I hope that makes sense, right? So now let's jump over to the triple arrow system. Let's put all of this together real quick, okay? Let's put it all together. So now we're on the triple arrow system, right? So now how can we use it to maximize the triple arrow system? So let's start over here where some action has already taken place. Alrighty, so what we want to do is, now we do have our trading plan, the Trading Made Easy trading plan. We're still going to stick with that, right? And for those of you that do not know about that plan, I do talk about it in some of the previous videos. I also offer coaching sessions where you have your private specialized session with me, and we break that whole thing down. Real simple, real simple. When I say break it down, it's not complicated at all. It's like super simple, right? But we do have a one-on-one, so I can show you how to maximize that. And by all means, again, I have that information. Just access it where you can book your session if you like. Go through the previous videos because I talk about that there as well. And just subscribe, because there's always going to be some piece of information that you can use to help you to maximize the system, right? And maximize your profits. That's what it's all about, right? That's what it's all about. So we're going to use our confirmations, of course, with the system. We're not deviating from that, okay? But I do want to just give you some options so that when you re-enter, you have some criteria that you can be looking for to confirm the direction you're going with. Now, the first thing I must say, we always trade with the big arrow. Remember, we want to go where the price wants to go. If price want to go down, we're not going to try to force price to go up, right? We're just going to travel with price. So we always follow the trend. And the big arrow indicates the trend for that period, for that time frame. So we want to follow that. So in this case, it's bearish. So we should only be looking for bearish engulfing candles, though there will be bullish engulfing candles. But we want the bearish engulfing candles. Why? Because because we're following price first and foremost. We're going where price wants to go. And if there's a bearish engulfing candle and the trend is bearish, we have a much stronger, much more solidified profit potential. So we don't want to just go against the grain. Let's follow the rules, right? So let's look for the bearish. All of our confirmations were met, right? We got into our trade. We got our 20 pips. And I do teach the 20, though you can get more, but I teach the 20. And here's the reason why. I would love to see as many be able to capture 20 pips in the market no matter what. Like, no matter what. You can go in that market and you can get 20 pips. We want to focus on that, because here's the deal. If you can consistently get 20 pips out of the market, you can change your financial future. It's not necessary to go for 50 and 100 pips. That's a big mistake a lot of traders make. Not saying you can't get that. Not saying you can't get it. But the more pips that you're going for, the more drawdown you're going to incur as well. That is a reality. So instead of putting your account through that burden, and yourself not to mention, because it's a stressful situation when you're deep in the red, meaning in drawdown, right? So rather, instead of doing that, get your 20, lock in your 20, because the market will give you that, right? Lock in your 20 and be done. Concentrate on compound. Concentrate on compound and maximize your profits that way. And speaking of compound, I have a 20 pip strategy spreadsheet. Does all the work for you. Just follow it, and hey, you'll be good to go. Combined with the Trading Made Easy trading plan. So with the triple arrow system and all the benefits that it gives you, because that is your GPS, trust me, and the Trading Made Easy trading plan, those two elements, that 20 pip strategy spreadsheet, you're good. Just concentrate on that. I know a lot of times in the market, in the industry, you see people posting up, 80, 90, 100 plus pips, and we believe that we're not really successful, or we're kind of behind the eight ball a little bit if we're not capturing those amounts of pips. That's not the case, and it's not necessary. That's my point. It's not necessary. You can be in and out of the market with your money, and just, keep a smile on your face, right? Keep a smile on your face. And I'll show you how to do that. Again, subscribe and access the resources that I have inside of the description. So let's look for some bearish engulfing candles. Some bearish engulfing candles. So you capitalize, right? So the next day, we're looking for a bearish engulfing candle as an indication that price is about to turn around. That price is about to turn around. So right here, let's stretch this out some. Okay, bearish engulfing candle. Would it be this one? No, it won't, because the big candle is bullish, right? It meets all the other criteria, but the big candle is bullish, so that does not qualify. That does not qualify. The big candle has to be a bearish candle if we're looking for a bearish engulfing candle. So let's move along. What about here? I think we have it, right? Because why? The big candle is bearish, right? And the previous candle, the body can fit completely inside of this bearish candle. You see that? Okay. And the close of the small candle, right? The close of that candle is in alignment with the opening of the bearish candle, which is the one that's engulfing, the big one. So when I say an alignment, what I mean is only the bodies now, only the body, not the wick. You see the top of the bullish candle, it just goes straight across to the bearish candle, and it's an alignment, meaning this candle is not down here, it's not down here, it's not up here. It's right in alignment with the bearish candle that's engulfing it. That constitutes a bearish engulfing candle. Okay, so when we see a bearish engulfing candle, because it's one of the strongest reversal candles in the market, in the industry, we know that what price is telling us, right? Price is telling us it wants to go down because it's bearish. Okay, it's bearish. It wants to go down. So what we can do is identify them, of course. If you're selling, do you have a stronger chance of, getting your 20 pips or the price moving down in a bearish trend, right? In a bearish trend, okay? You have a much stronger profit potential because one, you're following price. You're reading what price wants to do, and you're just following it, right? You're following it. And of course, you always want to have a set of confirmations. I don't care, even though the engulfing candle is powerful, but you always want to have more than one confirmation. Always. Well, we have that. Yeah, we do. So we have the 50 moving average. Okay. First of all, we're selling. We have the 50 moving average. So price needs to be in seller's territory. And it is. It's in seller's territory because it's below the 50 moving average. So that's another confirmation, right? Then we want to look at our MACD. our MACD needs to be in seller's territory. Anytime the moving averages is above your center, below your center, you're in seller's territory. And here is the other confirmation where that's concerned that I'm sharing with you. But these are strong, right? These are strong. The moving average on your MACD, whenever the red, which is your signal line is above your blue line, which is the MACD, then sellers are dominant, in control during that time. So if you're in seller's territory, meaning you're below the center, and the signal line, which represents sellers, that's your signal line, represents sellers, is on top of your MACD line, which represents buyers. Now that's a double confirmation with the MACD that sellers are in control. So with those things right there, you have a very strong position for a sale. Not for 50 pips, not for 80 pips, not even for 30 pips. For 20 pips. For 20 pips. And let me give you another nugget. I'm giving you some nuggets tonight, all right? All right, so let's go with this. We've identified it. We know now that price wants to go down because it's a bearish engulfing candle. And a part of our trading plan, and you'll get the full details of our trading methodology in your session as well, is what we do is once we identify that, right? We identify, because we're going to wait for this candle to close so that we can identify that it is actually engulfing. So the candle closed, where a bearish candle closed? At the bottom. So we want to put our little crosshair down here. We want to look left for the previous support dots. Well, we have it right here, because now at this point you probably wouldn't have seen the last two dots, maybe the last three. But the previous dots to that, you would be able to see that. So what we want to do is take our cursor, which is also a pip counter, and we want to click, hold, and drag to the support dots, right? We want to drag it to the support dots. And this tells us how many pips that we are potentially able to get. How many pips that we are potentially able to get. And I go with the previous one. And we're looking at, on the top of the support dot is 8. At the bottom is 10.3. Okay. Now my rule of thumb is typically if we can clear at least 12 pips, then 12 to 20, then I'm okay with taking the pips that we're going for. Okay. Because the engulfing candles are pretty strong, I would still be willing to take it, but I would just go for 10 pips, and I would drop 2 positions at 10 pips. That way, you still get your 20, but you're in the market a fraction of the time to get it. Okay? You're in the market a fraction of the time. Because here's the thing. You don't know what's going on at the right of the candle. You don't know what's going on at the right of the candle. So you always look left for direction. Why? Because the price repeats itself. Okay? Price repeats itself. So that's what you can do there. And here's the other thing. It's nothing wrong if you feel like it's too close. This too close to a support. We might be, pulling back. By all means, just let it go. Let it go until you get a clear shot. That's all you have to do. If you have 8 pips, for instance, then you can just divide, because what that tells you is you're going to get 8. That's what it tells you. So from here, you don't have to miss, the pips, because, don't think linear, that you can drop multiple positions. So let's say at the close of the bearish engulfing, from the close to the previous support right at the top is about 7 to 8 pips. Okay. So what that tells you is you're going to get 7 to 8 pips out of here. At least. So what you do, you divide that. You can drop 3 positions if you want to get your 20. Okay. 7 divided by 3. Let's go with that. I'm sorry. What am I talking about? 20. Right? And you have 7 pips. Okay. So you basically 2.8. So you can just drop your position 3 times. 3 times 7 is 21. Bam, there you go. And you got your pips. You're done. You're done. And of course, in this case, you would have made your profit. Now, we made our profit. Here's the thing. We want to get in and get out. We just concentrate on compounding. And again, the 20 pip strategy spreadsheet is phenomenal. Just follow it. Each trade, just follow it for each trade. Don't deviate. Utilize these re-entry options that I'm providing for you so that you can get your pips in and out of the market and you compound in your account. You're not missing anything. Okay. Now, here is, let's find another engulfing candle, bearish, right here. You see this bullish candle right here, and then you have this bearish candle right here, which is larger than the previous candle, and the previous candle is an opposite candle. And because it's a bearish engulfing candle, the small candle close, the close of that candle is in alignment with the opening of the candle that's engulfing it, the larger candle. That's a bearish engulfing candle. So what does that tell me? Right at this area here, well, you go to the close, right? Basically, what it's telling me is that price wants to move down. Price wants to move down. Now, what I would tell you is it doesn't always, it will happen, but it's not necessarily going to happen within the next 2 candles. It could, but if it doesn't, that's not out of the norm. And in my advanced class, I'll teach you how to set your pending order so that you can capitalize on that when it happens. So now you don't have to worry. You can just go about your business. You got your order in right at a certain point, and when price hits that, it's going to react in a downward pattern, right? And it's going to give you a certain amount of pips. So you can do that with pending orders. You can also do that with alerts, right? If you don't want to necessarily put a pending order in and maybe forget that you have it in and you're not watching it or whatever the case may be, you can work with alerts. I love alerts. I put the alert in because it gives me an opportunity to come back to the market and reassess what's happening, right? And then make your determination from that point if you want to enter. But just know that the engulfing candles, whether it's bullish or bearish, will react to that. In other words, if it's bearish, price, once it gets to a certain point, it's going to go down. If it's bullish, it's going to go up. And we determine how far we want to take that. Sometimes it's 50, 30, 100 pips. Sometimes it's not. But again, there is a method that I use, which is part of the Trader Made Easy trading plan, that allows you to solidify your profit, get in, get out, and you're having a great day. So I'm going to wrap it up there. Hope that gave you some insight. Again, book a session. We can peel the onion bag, ask your questions, get some clarification, get you set up right, and start profiting more consistently in the market. My goal is to help you to see the market the way I see it, or at least incorporate some of the different avenues that you have available to profit in the market utilizing the triple arrow system more consistently. So I hope that helped. I hope that helps. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next video. Have a great one. Bye-bye. Let me pull it up. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Why are you acting up? Why are you acting up in front of company? I tell you, sometimes the system just going to do what it want to do. If it don't want to play, it's not going to play nice. This one don't want to play nice today, but we're going to make it work. Okay. All right. So let's drag that up there. Okay. Now we're talking. Okay. So you see that right there? We have a bearish engulfing candle. How do you determine if it's a bullish or bearish engulfing candle? The big candle determines that. So if the big candle is a selling candle, it's bearish. If it's a buying candle, it's bullish. Is that simple, right? So here's another bearish engulfing candle right here. They're all over. They're all over. And so there'll be no problem finding it. This one is, but I don't like it. It doesn't have enough body for me. So I like for it to have more of a body. And I just saw it. Where did it go? Here we go. Right here we have another bullish engulfing candle right here. Right? Okay, this is acting up. I apologize. This is acting up. Let me see if this going to feel nice. Okay, so right here, that's a bullish engulfing candle right there, right? And then